Uh-uh.
Today's
There we are.
Hello, this is George.
And Bonnie.
This is Adonai Sanctuary Truth Classroom. Today is April 7th. And when we get into it, we're going to be going over 1 Samuel chapter 4. This morning I got up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and even she doesn't know that I wrote this, but I wrote this during the day today, and I'm going to read it to you. Now, if all you people are tired of listening to what I read, then just click off now and come back in 5 minutes. But here's what I wrote this morning. I thought it was kind of interesting. I'm getting old, and I have no idea how much longer Adonai is going to allow us the privilege of finding truth. Some of his truth is so amazing. Yet, like my brother George and I talk about, it's so simple. We have a hard time believing priests haven't found out about it before. It seems that some priests realize that they have found his truth, yet because of their religion, denomination, their church, yes, even their congregation, they're hesitant to bring the real truth out in the open. Why people may not like what they found, turn against them, therefore rejecting the real truth from Adonai altogether. And we know that keeping the individuals happy and content is the most important aspect of their preaching in Adonai's word. What's more important, people, the collection plate or Adonai's truth? So priests must be thinking, if they don't come out, priests must be thinking, if they don't come into our church, where will they ever be able to find truth when I feel comfortable enough to tell them? And they like me enough, so they won't leave our church. Are not those priests just telling Adonai, you're just going to, well, you might say, have to wait? The more important things are the people, their happiness, and my desire, not yours, or the truth in your word. Someday in the future, we are going to drop a huge bombshell that just may turn you away from this program, because as you have been in the past, you have seen in the past, when Adonai wants us to state his truth, we tell you what we found, and you may not. No, you won't like this big one at all. But that has never stopped us before, and it will not stop us ever. Adonai's truth is more important than you liking me, my sweetie Bonnie, or my big brother George. So Adonai didn't produce, George and I talked about this one, people may be upset about it, but see, Adonai didn't produce the dung piles called religion. No, he gave and he gives the world his truth. So you can shovel the manure pile out of your way, because that pile of dung is just what is stopping individuals from finding Adonai's truth.
hallelujah.
Yes, and I know some, maybe all you born-again dung-pilers hate that truth, but I'm not here to make you happy. I want to let Adonai know that I and us, the least of all of his people, hear and want his truth be stated to the society of the world today.
Amen.
I don't know what made me write that down, but it's what I needed to say, and I think it's what people needed to hear. Whether you like it or not, that's what you needed to hear.
Amen, brother.
Okay.
Hey, Ann.
We're going in chapter 4 from Kentucky. Oh, my goodness. Oh, yeah, Ann's going.
Yeah, they've been there for a while.
Hi. Chapter 4 is an amazing turn of events in the complete Jewish Bible. 4:1 starts with Samuel or Shemuel's words come to all of Israel. While about half of the other Bibles we use for our research put it at the ending of chapter 3.
Ann said, well said.
The Philistines go to war against Israel. Again.
Yeah.
We hear about wars against those two all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever thought that the Philistines, have you ever found out that the Philistines were actually the descendants of Ham, Noah's son?
Yep.
While the Hebrews were from one of Noah's other sons called Shem. Don't worry, that's the last of our history lesson today. My sweetie's going to read 4:1.
So the word of Samuel came to all Israel. Israel went out to fight against the Philistines, setting up camp in even Ezar, while the Philistines camped at Aphek, however you say that.
The town of Ebenezer. In English writings, they have put it Ebenezer for the Hebrews, and Aphek, Eafek, for the Philistines. And you know they were about 3 or 4 miles apart. That must have given them both room to line up to fight the war. Again.
Not again.
Ready, set, go. Read 2, please.
Philistines drew up in battle formation against Israel. The battle was fierce, and Israel was beaten by the Philistines. They killed about 4,000 soldiers on the battlefield.
That day victory belonged to the Philistines. But the Hebrews, they get a brilliant idea. Read 3, please.
When the army had returned to camp, the leaders of Israel asked, "Why has Adonai defeated us today before the Philistines? Let's bring the Ark of the Covenant of Adonai from Shiloh to us, so that he will be among us and save us from our enemies."
Send a group back to Shiloh. Get the ark and have a priest or 2 come with it for extra credit, you might say. That way we know because of our own great idea, Adonai will be with us. And the 2 priests were, read 4, please.
So the people sent to Shiloh and brought from there the Ark of the Covenant of Adonai Tezerah, who is present above the, is that cherubim? Is that what it is? The 2 sons of Eli, Hophni and Pinchas, were there with the ark for the covenant of God.
Eli's 2 sons, you remember them, the ones who couldn't keep their hands to themselves. Hophni and Pinchas, remember those 2 were the reason their father sinned by loving those 2 sons more than Adonai himself. When the ark entered the camp, what happened not only to the Hebrews, but also to the Philistines? Read 5 and 6, please.
When the ark for the covenant of Adonai entered the camp, all Israel gave a mighty shout that resounded through the land. On hearing the shout, the Philistines asked, "What does this great shout in the Hebrew camp mean?" Then they realized that the ark of Adonai had arrived in the camp.
The ark caused the Hebrews to shout so loud the Philistines heard it. And they asked, what are they shouting for? Read 7, please.
And the Philistines became afraid. They said, God has entered the camp. We're lost. There's no such thing. Yes, there was no such thing yesterday or the day before.
Think about it. Yesterday, the Philistines had all the confidence in the world. So the overconfident Philistines became afraid. Those Hebrews didn't have that yesterday. Why, with the ark, who knows? You know, God has entered their camp. We're lost. What do we do now? Run? To show you how the world back then and today understand Adonai, I guess we must state misunderstanding with Adonai. Read 8, please.
We're lost. Who will rescue us from the power of these mighty gods? These are the gods that completely overthrew the Egyptians in the desert.
Did you catch the point?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't we've lost? We have the writings. Who can rescue us from their mighty gods? You know, the gods that destroyed the Egyptians. Here's a hint. Plural, little g, gods. Plural. Not the power of Adonai. No, it was all the little gods that are in the world. Then some man stands up to the army of the Philistines and says, read 9, please.
Be strong and behave like men, you Philistines, so that you won't become slaves to the Hebrews, as they have been to you. Behave like men and fight.
He stands up and says, act like men. You're Philistines, not Egyptians. Do you want to be slaves to those Hebrews? We need to fight like men. The warriors who we are. And it was a great inspirational speech, you might say. Remember what Adonai stated in, well, my sweetie's going to go to chapter 2, verse 12 for some review.
For review. Oh. Eli's sons were scoundrels who had no regard for Adonai.
They were doing a lot against Adonai and his, you might say, his holiness. Now my sweetie's going to read 2:22.
When Eli was very old, he heard about everything his sons were doing to all Israel, that they were having sex with women, doing service at the door of the tent of meeting.
That's why Adonai asked Eli. Well, I'll go to 2:29.
So why are you showing such disrespect for my sacrifices and offering, which I ordered to be made at my dwelling? Why do you show more honor to your sons than to me, making yourselves fat with the choicest parts of all the offering of Israel, my people?
Why do you show such disrespect to me while showing honor to Hophni and Pinchas, your son? Now something very interesting happened. Read 2:30.
Oh, that's right. Therefore Adonai, the God of Israel, said, I did indeed say that your family and your father's family would walk in my presence forever. But now Adonai says, forget it. I respect those who respect me, but those who despise me will meet with contempt.
Can you imagine being a very spiritual person, a judge and a prophet, and having Adonai say to you, forget it. I respect the ones who respect me. Boy, does the world need to understand the truth in that writing. Not man to man, no, that is for man to Yeshua, man to Adonai, the two who control your eternal road to his gate, and the one who continues and controls his door. Yeshua and Adonai. I put wow after that. Do you understand the importance of that little insert from the chapter we have already studied? That truth is mind-blowing to and for humanity. Yet their falsification of doctrine, their church tenements of faith, churches, religions will be and are more like Hafne and Pinches than Adonai's true word. Think about it. Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, me too, Ann.
Ann said, boy, that would scare me.
Read 10 and 11, please.
Back and forth.
Yes, back and forth.
The Philistines fought, Israel was defeated, and every man fled to his tent. It was a terrible slaughter. 30,000 of Israel's foot soldiers fell. You said 10 and 11?
Mm-hmm.
Moreover, the ark of God was captured, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Pinchas, died.
You got to think about this. Here are the Israelites. No, they know they're God's chosen people. They have the Ark of the Covenant, and they are doing anything that Adonai told them to do. So guess what? 30,000 soldiers died. The Ark is taken hostage, and Eli's two sons died. How much more could go wrong with Eli's family? The city of Shiloh got the word from someone who got away. Read 12 and 13, please.
One of the soldiers, a man from Bethlehem? Yeah, Benjamin, sorry. A man from Benjamin ran and came to Shiloh that same day with his clothes torn and earth on his head as a sign of mourning. As he arrived, Eli was sitting on the seat by the road watching, because he was trembling with anxiety over the ark of God. When the man entered the city, he told the news. The whole city began crying out.
He told the city the news, and they began to cry out. Then Eli, blind and old, asked, "Why are they crying?" Remember, he's old and blind. Read 14, please.
On hearing cries, Eli asked, "What does this uproar mean?" So the man hurried, came to Eli and told him.
Tell me what all the commotion's about. Read 15, please.
Eli was 98 years old, and his gaze was fixed because he was blind.
I'm 98 years old, young man, and I'm blind. Tell me what happened. And actually, who are you? Read 16.
The man said to Eli, "I am the soldier that came. I escaped today from the battlefield." He asked, "How did things go, my son?"
I'm a soldier, and I escaped from the slaughter on the battlefield. Eli asked, "How are things going?" Read 17.
The one who had come with the news answered, "Israel fled before the Philistines, and there was a terrible slaughter among the people. Your two sons, Hophni and Pinchas, also are dead, and the ark of God was captured."
We ran. It was terrible. Your two sons, Hophni and Pinchas, have been killed. Those Philistines now have the ark. He was informed that his sons would die, and maybe he was kind of expecting that one. But the ark, that must have shocked him. Remember 4:13 again, please.
As he arrived, Eli was sitting on his seat by the road watching, because he was trembling with anxiety over the ark of God.
See, he was trembling because of the ark. He was trembling because he was worried about the ark, and now he hears. Well, read the last part of 17 again, please.
Oh, your two sons, Hophni and Pinchon, are also dead, and the ark of God was captured.
He hears the ark has been captured. And in 13, he said he was there worrying about the ark. Eli was old and fat, out of shape. Verse 15 stated he was 98 years old. Then this happened to Eli while he sat by the gate. Read 18, please.
As soon as he mentioned what had happened to the ark of God, Eli fell backwards off his seat next to the gate, broke his neck, and died. He was an old man and heavy. He had judged Israel 40 years.
40?
That's what it says. 40 years.
He fell off his seat backwards, broke his neck, and died. Here's a man who was 58 when he became judge of Israel. Because he judged Israel for 40 years. This next part is what I would call interesting. Read 19, please.
His daughter-in-law, Pinchon's wife, was pregnant and near delivery time. When she heard the news that the ark of God had been captured and that her father-in-law and husband were dead, she went into abnormal labor, bent over, and gave birth.
Pinchaz's wife was... This was the same Pinchaz in 222. 222.
222. When Eli was very old, he heard about everything his sons were doing to all Israel, and that they had been having sex with women doing service at the door of the tent of meeting.
Now this was Pinchaz's wife. And now it's saying that she was pregnant. And her husband was openly having sex with the workers who looked up to him as something special. Was being used by the one who they trusted. Sound familiar? You got whiff of that quite a few times in the past. Read 20, please.
As she was dying, the woman standing by her said to her, "Don't be afraid, because you have given birth to a son." But she didn't answer or show any sign of recognition.
Gave birth to a son. In her dying condition, then she named him Ichabod. That wasn't the first time a mother gave her son a name in her dying condition. If you remember in Bereshit or Genesis 35, 16 through 18. Read that, please.
Then they traveled on from Bethel, and while they were still some distance to go before arriving at Ephrath, Rachel went into labor, and she had a great difficulty with it. While she was undergoing this hard labor, the midwife said to her, "Don't worry, this is also a son for you." But she died in childbirth, and as she was dying, she named her son Ben-Oni, or son of my grief. But his father called him Benjamin, son of the right hand, son of the south. And now we find out Eli's daughter-in-law, the wife of Pinchaz, did the same thing. Read 21, please. She named the child Ichabod, meaning without glory, saying, "The glory has departed from Israel, because the ark of God has been captured, and because her father-in-law and because of her father-in-law and husband." Interesting. She named her son without glory. Named him without glory because the glory was now departed from Israel. The ark is gone. She felt, read 22, please. She said, "The glory of Israel has gone into exile. because the ark of God has been captured.
Now the glory has gone into exile. The ark was captured. As we look back at Eli, it seems he was a good priest and judge, but without a hand of discipline for his sons. In the language, we would say, in our language, today's language, we would say, it seems his children ran the family. This might seem harsh, but he was very religious while being what I would call a very lousy parent. A man of Adonai in the temple, yet a man with no backbone at home. There seems to be a lot of that going around today. And that's the end of 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
A lot in that little bitty chapter.
Yeah.
Very.
And you know something? There's a lot in there that was really truthful for back then and today. I hope you have a good week. The message today is you can't put all your chickens in the same basket because Easter's gone and the little eggs coming down from the helicopters are all broke.
Even the truck.
And the people in Florida and around Zephyr Hill knows what I'm talking about. And you know something? Adonai knows what we're doing. But there's 2 things you have to really concentrate on. Him and doing what's right. Because we know we do wrong things. But if we do the right stuff when he wants us to, it seems like we get a good hand. Be right with Adonai. Walk with Adonai. Understand who Adonai is. See how your life changes. You'll change in the end too. Have a good week.